Hey, welcome back to Milton Daily Homes. Chuck here. We have a list of 9 properties today, and the website is getting really close. Works on an iPhone, iPad. I'm hoping for a launch soon. We talked about that back in January, February. Ran into some tech difficulties, but I think that now we're definitely on track. So look forward to that. We're not going to have that ugly login that you have to deal with, and I apologize about that. We threw that in a couple of years ago at the last minute when we had some heat on the site for some of the things that we were saying. So the second thing is Milton Buyer Class, miltonbuyerclass.com. We're just over there to register. It's this Saturday at, what time we at? 1 o'clock. And we go over the 3 first-time buyer incentives. Together, it equals more than $13,000 of savings, or you could call it free money in your pocket. We go over all the steps involved, all the hidden costs no one tells you about, how to get better access to homes, even than Milton Daily Homes. We look at what to look for in a home. We show you real-life slides of home inspections, and we answer any and all questions that you have. A little bit over 2 hours, so same time really as going to watch a crummy movie. You can come here and get yourself very safe and prepared for a home purchase. So miltonbuyerclass.com or just over there. Let's get started. We have Radel Crescent is 409. We reviewed a home that's kind of similar in the sense that it's the same model. It's a Bryant model, 1235 square feet, finished basement, backyard, green space, and it's for sale right now for $399. This one's a little bit higher, but it looks very nice. You have 2-car parking in the driveway. This one, front to back, looks like it's move-in ready. Very nice looking home. Stainless steel appliances, hardwood floors. Even the basement looks quite impressive, and it's nice to have that view too. So I like it. I like how it compares. Again, $10,000 is a big difference between this and the previous, but it looks like it's move-in ready, and they always command a premium. So Baverstock is $414,900. 2-car parking in the driveway, which doesn't increase the value a whole lot, but it is very convenient, and it can be a booster, especially when there's a lot of competition. Almost 1,600 square feet in this one, so a great price point for that size of home. We've seen this style and this layout go even up in the 430s and 440s. And yes, we do have construction in the building. Once again, gotta love it. After a long hiatus, it's not that impressive inside in the sense it's kind of a basic kitchen, basic carpets, wood toilet seat, whatever. Maybe it's a little warmer on you when you have to wake up at night. However, here's the thing is that when you look at a garden like this that's been cared for, you know that the house has had some love and attention. So this model is at the age where it probably needs a new roof, so you want to just check and make sure that that's a cost that you're budgeting for. It's on the north side of Baverstock, which means all these new homes are coming in, so it looks like they've kind of finished the brick veneer on this one. So your disturbance is probably minimal. At one point that was all field behind, but yeah, you can definitely tell that this one's had a lot of care. End unit townhouse at $415 doesn't usually happen, so I think this one's really going to move fast. Dairy 61, Dairy 60, I think listed a day or two ago. We talked about what you need to get up in this price range. This one's listed at $417. It's the larger 3-bedroom model, and you back onto green space. A couple of them have done it. I've seen this kind of look. It's almost like a hand scrape, but it looks like fingers through the sand. So it doesn't have that kind of, if you've seen a real hand scraped floor, you know that it kind of has its imperfections. This one's almost like kind of like an industrial engineered version of that concept. You do kind of have a yard. I said the other one didn't really have a yard. You've got a little walkout main floor, and then you've got, again, you've got a place where you could barbecue when the weather's not very nice, and good views behind. So $417 seems very fair given what else is sold in the complex. Mowat Lane is quite impressive inside. I think the finishes are great. You've even got this little organized, come in with the mail, and you say, okay, that's for this person, that's for that person. A different layout than you see, because you've got the kitchen in the middle like a control center, and then you've got your 2 kind of living areas. So it's a front back home. that's what I call them. I've sort of coined that term a couple years ago, which means that one side faces Main Street, the other side faces Mowat Lane. Basement looks great too. You've got your pot lights here. But that's your Main Street side. That is your Mowat Lane side. It looks like you can park probably 3 cars here if you wanted to. But it's like, which side has the backyard? This one kind of does. And then you look on this side and it might even have a backyard as well. If this wasn't where it is, I would say that they would have no problems. I mean, this is about 1,900 square feet. They would have no problem selling at this price, looking like that with a finished basement that size. However, Main Street kills it. The booster that some people can maybe live with Main Street is because it's close to the leisure center. You could walk to the GO train. That whole commercial hub at Main and Thompson, the library and everything else, it's all there. So very convenient location to even get on the highway. Just go right up the road, James Snow, and you're on the highway very quickly. So maybe that's a trade-off there. Either way, I think this one's a good property if you can live with Main Street basically being in your backyard. Savaline is $489, about 1,900 square feet, not as well finished as the previous, and you're $30,000 higher. I'm not enthusiastic about this home. I don't think there's anything here that you wouldn't find at any other point. So competitively, the advantage on that one I don't see as being very great. Diamont is Mattamy Plan 4. It's 1,835 square feet. One of my favorite floor plans. You've got a front room. So this is when you come in the front door. So just behind the camera person, there is a room here. Great for a home office, even very good for a kid's playroom. And then the whole floor plan opens up to living, dining, plus kitchen. You also have a pantry in the kitchen, which nobody seems to photograph. But if you are somebody who spends time in the kitchen, it's nice to have a lot more storage. You've got 3 bedrooms plus a loft upstairs, and the price seems good. This model has gone anywhere from about $520 to $540. We put it on the low side, and I'm sure they're going to get action on it. Vanier is $574. It's a side split model. It's 50 by 100 foot property. Yeah, I would say it's, it's okay inside. It seems like it's for the double garage, for the 4 bedrooms. They've done some improvements here. It looks like it's been taken care of well, even though there are some things that you could quote unquote update. And don't really get a full shot of the backyard. But overall, this one seems like it's in the zone. It's probably competing against the one like on Maple, for example, which is around the 550 mark in Dorset Park. So it would really depend on how this one shows in person. Hepburn is a Winter Grove model, so it's about 2,400 square feet. Mattamy home, it's got the split level design. They definitely could have used a flash on this one because the photos are dark. This is the only worthwhile shot in probably the whole gallery. You do have upgraded counters, but you can't even see them because it's so dark. There's moldings, there's pot lights here. This one almost makes the pot lights look like they're off center. And you've got your family room above the garage. Very heavy, very dark. You got to lighten it up with a little less. You got to open up your blinds. There it is. Backyard, pretty standard size, 36 by 80. This would be something that I would expect if it was kind of totally move-in ready. Getting around this price point. It does look like it has some upgrades, but I think the presentation may just cause them to kind of drag a little bit. 25 side road is $998, and so you're 25 acres. That's the majority of the value on this one is the land. Although they've put a lot of wood into this one. There's a lot of nice finishes if you are a fan of having a basically completely wood home. So probably a non-smoker would be your target audience on something like this. Because you definitely don't want this home lighting up in a fire. And then they've put an extended life roof on it. Interesting thing about the roof is that you often wonder if that's a sign of motivation too. If somebody put a 50-year roof, usually the investment on that is much more than the minimum standard. So they were probably thinking more long-term. And then and it's like, okay, well, how come they're selling so quick after they put the roof on? Although it doesn't really specify how recent that was. It's one of those questions. Same thing with a basement that's not fully finished. or very recently finished, because that's not usually a high return on investment. Or a pool, you wonder, okay, they did this, they were probably thinking more long term, but it didn't happen. So anyway, just do a bit of research into this one, and maybe, who knows, there could be an opportunity there. 25th Side Road, they said it's a comfortable commute, but I find once you hit 20th Side Road, it gets a little bit far, and then you got to hit Guelph Line, and then you have to go about 10 minutes to actually get near Milton. So anyway, that's the list for today. If you have any questions, give us a call. Come to the Buyer Class, and thanks for joining us on Milton Daily Homes. We always appreciate you tuning in with your busy schedule. See you tomorrow.